Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Welcome in. No Frank today as he's wrapping up his vacation. He'll be back on Monday, but Hacker kind enough to sit in for a fourth day. So let me get this straight. You're doing the Frangie Show, you're doing Hacker After Dark, and you just wrapped up a podcast with our good friend Pat Young.
The award-winning Gator Bites podcast is available on the 1010XL social media platform, a platform that JJ has taken over.
That's how
for the last couple of weeks.
Go next.
It's really JJ's platform, at least it has been for the last month. But yeah, the Gator Bites podcast just wrapped that up. And speaking of JJ, the World Cup quarters are officially underway now with Morocco and France.
Yeah, the big boys are finally playing. This is, I mean, I would have really liked the U.S., obviously, to be part of this, but this is when the tournament really becomes, it's the World Cup. You know, the rest of it was like a circus, fun
it's like
for
the Elite Eight
3 or 4 weeks.
The tournament.
Exactly.
I mean, when you get to the Elite Eight, usually that's going to be a 1 versus a 2.
We're
Not
getting
always.
all the blue bloods are in it,
And,
Except for Italy, of course.
And the soccer podcast is out.
Yeah, I just did one yesterday, and it's funny because I was talking smack about our captain, Christian Pulisic. How come you haven't had a statement yet?
Right.
I need an apology.
Right.
And then he must have watched the podcast because after I did it last night, he came out with his faux apology.
It's broken.
Yes, and then this morning it comes out he had a, quote, microfracture, which we never questioned whether he was hurt or not. We were just saying you were terrible when you were actually playing.
Right. It probably, and if he could go back, I'm sure it would have been just stretcher me off the field here. So it doesn't look like, because the way he tried to stay in and gut it out, but yeah, so he fractured his tibia and he's going to be out for several weeks apparently. So
I'm assuming it's not that bad because whenever I see the word micro, I'm like, okay. Yeah, and if he was able to run around like that for a few minutes, then it couldn't have been that bad. So walk it off.
So you're giving him a mild pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the really bad,
mild
not
pass,
fully.
not full pass.
Yeah, the really bad look for him is that he's the team captain, and after you get embarrassed Monday night in front of 42 million viewers, which is how many people watch that on Fox, the USA and Belgium, he wasn't the first USA player to apologize to the fan base. Flo Balogun, who the whole red card situation, he came out and apologized, said, we're sorry, you deserved better. And then Pulisic, I think, probably saw that and said, oh, maybe I need to do something. So hours later, he put something out. It looks very, very retroactive to what Balogun did.
Flo is our guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Christian.
Right.
Flo's our guy now.
So mini pass. So JJ's not giving him $200 for pass and go. He's giving him $10 for finishing second in a beauty contest.
Not that I'm one to
I understand.
And not that I'm one to critique FIFA because obviously they do such a great job. The quarterfinals of the World Cup, why is this at 4 o'clock on a Thursday?
I said that on my podcast yesterday. And then, we do get 2 games in prime time-ish on Saturday. But then the semis next week again.
That's crazy.
They're at 3 o'clock.
I don't understand why you wouldn't have this at night.
Because they want the world audience, Europe, to be able to watch. Well. But it's this is where the tournament is at. When the tournament is in Europe next 4 years, they're not going to make it amendable for us, have our kickoff time. So, I don't know.
You like France today?
I do. I think France wins, and I think they win the whole tournament.
Yeah. Be interesting to see. We'll talk a little bit of World Cup. We'll keep you up to date with this as it goes along. But we've got a lot coming up on the Frangie Show today. Lee Smith's going to join us in our next segment to talk golf. Lee's the executive director of the Players Championship, does a great job. Scottish Open was great today. You've got Rory McIlroy tied for the lead at 5 under. He shot 65. Brooks Koepka at 4 under. Wyndham Clark, who just continues to play great golf. He's 3 under. Scheffler solid, 2 under today. And John Rahm, 3 over, tied for 137. So this is, we'll have Lee explain this, but because the Scottish Open is linked to both the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour, and Lee can correct me if I'm wrong on this, then it opened up a window for some of the live guys like Rahm and Hatton to play in this event, even though it is somewhat sponsored by the PGA Tour. But we'll get into what's going on at the Scottish Open with Lee. We'll also look ahead to Royal Birkdale, the British Open next week. Just what kind of a course is Royal Birkdale? What should we expect? Obviously, hard to predict weather at this point. We know weather always plays a huge role in the British Open, but Lee will be able to give us some insight into that. That'll be a lot of fun. Pete Prisco will join us at 5:15 to talk Jaguars and NFL in general, and we're going to spend a lot of time on the NFL today, Hacker. I want to go through our Week 3 picks. We've done Weeks 1 and 2 the last couple of shows. Want to get to Week 3 today, and I will tell you, I was going through the first 2 weeks today. There's some surprises. So, again, I think it's going to be fun when we look back at it after tomorrow when we go through the first 4 weeks, really all of September. And you get a sense that some of these clubs that we're expecting big things from might get off to really slow, alarming starts. So lots of fun stuff coming up.
It'll be a matter of them eating each other, particularly in the AFC, as we talked about. I mean, you're Houston. You start out of the gate, Buffalo and Cincinnati. You're Indianapolis. You start out of the gate with Baltimore and Kansas City. I mean, there is not an easy path for a lot of these AFC powers to kick off the regular season.
Well, and again, look at a team like Denver. You open at Arrowhead on Monday Night Football, and then you come home and play the Jaguars, who have already shown that they kind of are a half a step ahead of you. At least they were last year. And, I don't know that adding Jalen Waddle greatly changes that. So
I mean, New England's another one. New England, 2 of their first 3 is Pittsburgh and Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So it is a kind of a round robin of AFC competitors in the month of September.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see, how September gets going, because there is going to be some alarm bells going off on some NFL outposts that, they're expecting big things this year. So that's going to be very interesting. I saw it was, kind of a bummer story at Wimbledon today. Coco Gauff in the semifinals, thrilling tiebreaker in the third set, and she had a match point and just had like one of the worst volleys you'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be one that she'll think about for a long, long time. She probably should have won the match. She ultimately loses. After that Isner fiasco from like 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That was John Isner. That was like
Emmett who?
Yeah, Emmett who, yeah.
Well done, JJ.
71-69 or whatever it was. Wimbledon now, I kind of like it. 5th set, they go to a tiebreaker of 10. So you got to get to 10. So 7-6 is the 5th set, but a 10-point tiebreak is a pretty good tiebreak. This was 12-10 in the third set for the ladies. It's best 2 out of 3. And Coco Gauff did have a match point, a terrible volley. I'll tell you who hates it maybe as much as Coco Gauff, if not more, are our friends at ESPN. Because now that Coco Gauff is out, what reason is there for any American to wake up Saturday morning and watch the ladies' final unless you are just a diehard Wimbledon
because it's like the
fan?
9 seed versus the 10 seed.
And
right?
I've never heard of any of these people that are left.
And
outside
did
of
you
Coco
like
Gauff.
that they changed the rule?
That for the 10-point tiebreak, I did, because I mean you had situations. Roddick and Federer gotten one a few decades, like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't 71-69, but it was like 18-16.
In the next match.
In the next match, you're dead. I mean, Isner got crushed in the second round match after he played the 71-69.
That was a first round match.
It was a first round match. That'll
and
never
then
be
they matched
topped.
him up again the next year.
With
didn't
Mahou,
they?
yeah. With again, that was what it was.
Nonsense.
But yeah, I like the 10-point tiebreak, and it does build a lot of drama. And there was a lot of drama in that Coco Gauff match earlier today.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll get to some Jaguars too. We kind of talked a little bit about this yesterday. The NFL season is coming, but that also means fantasy football is coming, which just becomes more and more of a passion for the sports fan in this country with each passing year. We talked a little bit about the Jaguars, but it'd be fun to kind of go through and just say, like, what are your fantasy expectations for the Jaguar offensive skill set? We'll go through Trevor, and we'll go through the receivers, which one you like the best, Brendan Strange, and certainly the running backs. So that'll be a lot of fun as well. So we've got a lot coming up for you. Will you watch any of the Scottish Open? Will you watch the British Open next week?
I will definitely watch the British Open. I love waking up and watching the British Open. That's one of my favorite things, because by the time you wake up at 7, 8 o'clock, some guys are finishing up their rounds. You turn it on for 4 or 5 hours. And I really enjoy the British Open, and I love the courses over there. They're so much different looking than the ones we have over here. Obviously the huge rough patches on the side, the deep bunkers. I'm a big fan of the British Open, or as they call it over there, the Open
Yeah, they call
Championship.
most. I feel like most golf people now call it
Even
the
here.
Open.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. It was always the British Open when I was a kid,
Right.
And I feel like we have an Open too, but we don't we're not pompous about it. We don't, say you got to call ours the Open, and I get it. They invented the sport and all that, but the U.S. Open is a wonderful tournament, but we call it the U.S. Open.
They also call the winner the champion golfer of the year,
Right.
Which I love the pompousness of that.
I used to love it, the British Open. Remember, I think this guy's dead now, but he was the starter for the British Open, and he had the really high pitched voice, and they would, I think, call it like there. I think they say game number,
they do.
19 of the day. And then it was this announcer, and he was a very dignified gentleman. And
Ivor Robson.
Okay, yeah. And he had this really, really high-pitched voice.
Yeah, 1940 to 2023, so it recently passed.
And one of my favorite Open Championship or British Open memories is when John Daly went over there and won their tournament.
Right.
So John
They
Daly's,
love him now.
John Daly's the Open Champion of the year.
And I think he's
champion golfer.
I want to say
he still plays.
He's playing it.
Oh, yeah. He always does.
Yeah, I mean, I think they still have the lifetime exemption there. So
and he always wears like a flamboyant pair of pants.
Oh, yeah.
They love him.
Oh, yeah. How could you not love John Daly? But yeah, it will be. I'm really interested in seeing how the next 2 weeks plays out, because boy, there's a lot of storylines. It feels like, could we really go a full season without Scotty Scheffler winning any of the 5 big tournaments? The Players, 4 majors. Obviously he could still win the FedEx, the playoff, but but it just seems like it's sort of now or never this year for Scheffler, and he's had a great year. So we'll talk to Lee Smith about that coming up. Again, Scheffler leads the money list and was by a couple of million, even though he's only won once on tour, and it was his season debut this year. So lots of intriguing storylines. Again, Rory McIlroy, brilliant today, 5 under, co-leader, kind of a logjam at the top. But it'll be fun talking golf with Lee Smith. He will join us next. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
I'm Josh Scobie.
Scobie sweeps the legs, 59 yards away.
On 1010XL.
He's got it. Jacksonville wins.
Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. On Southside and JTB, for a limited time, Key Buick GMC has marked down select new GMC Sierra 1500 models. Below employee pricing, you pay less than what our employees pay. Plus, at Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us or shop online at keybuickgmc.com. We are professional-grade. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drive time only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Santa Claus normally avoids Florida this time of year, but not this year. Christmas in July is happening right now at Beard's Diamonds. Get up to 40% off now through July 27th. Beard's showcases are stocked with all new fashion jewelry, exquisite colored gemstone pieces, and the best selection of diamonds in North Florida. Rounds, emerald cuts, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ovals, from a half carat to 10 carats and more. Come and find the perfect engagement ring now at Beard's and save up to 40%. Beard's Diamonds at the shops at Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
When you want to know what's happening in Gainesville, roll with the Gator Report. I'm Joe C. Listen for updates on Florida Gator athletics several times a week on 1010XL. Built by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Go, Gator!
Looking for ways to save on your JEA bill? We're on it. When it comes to your utilities, the less you use, the more you can save. That's why JEA offers ways to help you manage your usage and avoid higher than expected bills. Use our online tools to monitor your usage throughout the month. Schedule a free irrigation or energy efficiency assessment and get personalized tips to save. And with JEA rebates, you can save when upgrading to more efficient equipment. Find more ways to save at JEA.com.
It's America's 250th, and Best Bet is celebrating all month long. Join us for America's birthday with exciting promotions, big jackpots, and over $700,000 in high hand giveaways throughout July.
And get ready for the Lips Poker Tournament Series, July 31st through August 2nd. Also in August, the return of the World Poker Tour with $1.5 million in guarantees.
Celebrate and win at Best Bet with nonstop poker action all month long. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Registration is now open for the Alive Credit Union Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. Over $300,000 in cash prizes across all tournaments July 11th through 18th, including a 28-foot contender in the Kingfish Tournament or a huge cash payout in the Beach Tournament. The Redfish Tournament is back too. Lady and junior anglers are always welcome, and spectators can enjoy exhibits, food, and kids' activities all week. Register at kingfishtournament.com.
Want to stretch that dollar? Taylor Doll here to help save you money with the Money Pages magazine and app. Trying to figure out dinner? Money Pages has deals at your favorite local restaurants. Need auto repairs or an oil change? Money Pages has coupons to help you save. Looking to do some home improvement projects? Money Pages has deals on everything home, from AC repair and plumbing to flooring and painting. Check your mailbox for Money Pages today and download the app for savings on the go.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Time now for the tour update with Players Championship Executive Director Lee Smith.
Here it comes
on 1010XL.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday, but it's our great pleasure to bring in Lee Smith. And Lee, you've got a tremendous guest today. Thank you so much. Tell us all about your guest.
Yeah, no, it's great. My bringing my dad in to hang out with us a little bit. It's kind of a full circle moment, Hayes. When I was probably 7 or 8, and he was the basketball coach of our high school, on Saturday mornings, I'd go to his radio show on WRTL in Rantoul, Illinois. So it's fun to bring him here and let him sit there and be quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's great to meet him. Appreciate you bringing him in. We were talking in the break about you guys attended the PGA event that John Daly won.
Yeah, Crooked Stick over in Indiana when he was an alternate and then spun that into a wild career, very successful in a lot of ways, and maybe not so successful in some other ways.
Yeah, and went on to win the British. So do they still have the lifetime exemption? Will we see him next week?
I don't know for sure if it's lifetime. I think there are some criteria of age and that type of thing. But I would assume that he's still at a place where he can play.
Yeah.
And, the British Open gets underway a week from today. And we'll obviously talk about the Scottish Open and things that are going on right now. But I'm just looking at this. It'll be the 154th British Open. I mean, the history and everything that goes into what's going to happen over there. As a golf purist, you have to absolutely love that.
Absolutely. It gives you perspective that number one, you talk about the 5 biggest golf tournaments in the world, and probably the one that leans into its history the most is the Masters, but it's actually the second youngest. The Players Championship's 52 years old. The Masters is 90. I mean, 50 some years between the Masters and the first British Open. It is amazing that that it's been that long, and just the lineage and history. When you go over there, you feel it, especially walking around St. Andrews. You feel the age and really the kind of going back in time a little bit.
The Scottish Open has an incredible field this week, obviously, with guys wanting to get tuned up and acclimated before Royal Birkdale next week. So you got Rory, who 5 under today, Scheffler, solid 2 under today. But explain so Rahm's in the field. He didn't play well today. He was 3 over, T137. Hatton's in the field. So explain how the live golfers there's a kind of a synergy for the Scottish Open with the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So I think it was 5 years ago or so. This being a national open, a lead into the British Open. So the Scottish Open is actually co-sanctioned by the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour, and part of that co-sanction agreement. So it lives on the FedEx Cup and in the Rolex Series Race to Dubai as premium points opportunities. But basically, there's 75 players that get access to this tournament from each of the two tours, to kind of bring together what is, like you say, a fantastic field. And so that's kind of the access on the DP World Tour side for Rahm, Hatton, and the others.
Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players. All right, this is an elementary question, but I think it's a question that a lot of people would find interesting because I find it interesting. I'm a weekend golfer. I'll go out and hit it around the golf courses here in Jacksonville. For weekend golfers like me that are driving around listening to us right now, when they watch the Scottish Open this week or certainly the Open Championship next week, or as we refer to it, the British Open next week, biggest difference between those golf courses over there and what we experience here in America?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Hack. I mean, without getting into the nerdy details of different types of turf, and a lot of golf courses over there not even having irrigation systems or limited coverage irrigation systems, the biggest difference is that you're going to see really the ground used as a weapon. So many more shots being played lower to the ground or on the ground, especially around the greens. And then weather conditions tend to play even more of a role in the events over there. And so green speeds will actually be significantly slower. What we consider here as being fast, 12, 13 on the stimp meter. Over there, they might only roll 10 or 10 and a half, depending on undulations. The size of the greens are a lot bigger. But probably the biggest difference is somebody like Chris Gotterup that won last week tends to kind of have a game that fits over there because he tends to hit the ball low anyways. But you'll see a lot more shots being played on the ground. And to your point of the kind of the novice golfer, there's probably, even though that you play in the U.S. and you see more shots in the air, a lot of golfers could probably learn to play it more on the ground in their own game. It's the safer shot typically.
Obviously, a huge storyline next week will be Scotty Scheffler, lost in the playoff at the Travelers to Hovland, but showed good form. Again, looks off to a nice start here, which Thursday has been sort of his tough day this season. But it's amazing because you hear like Brendel Chambly say he's clearly the player of the year. I mean, I know he's only won once, and I know it's a, quote, down year for Scotty Scheffler, but it's such an interesting dynamic for him. But what are your expectations for Scotty this week? And then do you think he does get a major this year at Royal Birkdale?
It'll be interesting because I'm with you. I think we hold him to such a high expectation that not winning a whole bunch of times or even losing in a playoff just seems like that shouldn't happen. I think I was reading the other day, there's 3 players since the beginning of 2024 that have won at least 5 times. Chris Gotterup has won 5 times, Rory's won 6 times, and Scotty's won 14 times. So while we're holding him to a standard of 6 months, obviously he's been the best player in the world for a long time, and I can only expect him to play very well, and obviously it's in the least shocking news, wouldn't be surprised if he was sitting at the top of the leaderboard this week. Him being under par after round 1 probably holds good weight for him to be competitive on the weekend, and then next week as he gets acclimated over there. Birkdale's a really, really good golf course for that.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to you about Birkdale. I'm looking at it right here. This is what I love about this tournament and this week in particular coming up. The course first opened in 1889, but was extensively redesigned in 1922. I don't know how you redesign something in 1922, but apparently they did. The Open's been hosted over there 11 times since it got its royal charter in 1951. what do we know about Royal Birkdale? Who does it tend to favor as far as the type of golfer you need to be?
Yeah, they've it sounds like in reading a little bit about it, it sounds like they've done a little even design work since the 2017 Open, which we all kind of remember as Spieth's Open, hitting it into the range, moving trucks, and apparently you can't do that anymore. That's out of bounds over there in the redesign 9 years later. But I think this is a golf course that is maybe a little bit more familiar to the core or even the casual golf fan, because not only do they have the pot bunkers and kind of the attributes that are typical of a link style course over there, but you're also going to see kind of regular bunkers, regular bunker sizes. I don't want to necessarily call it a modern links for something that was redesigned 100 years ago. But there's probably a little bit more familiarity. And I think this is one of, throw out just the prestige of St. Andrews and, and Carnoustie and those golf courses that maybe we know a lot about. This is probably one of the most popular British Open venues. And then they've added, I think what is cool is that they've added 20 or 30 yards to just 18. So it's another one of those championships that if somebody needs a par on 18, it's going to be tough to come by.
We mentioned Roy earlier, brilliant today at the first round of the Scottish Open. And at Royal Birkdale, I want to say he was T4 the last time the British Open was contested there. Do you feel like Rory McIlroy, kind of a disappointing finish at the U.S. Open? He got in good position going into the weekend and then I think finished outside the top 30. But do you like his chances where he is right now heading into the British Open?
I feel like, yeah. I mean, it's one of those. I think I was reading an article the other day that was talking about horses for courses, and they identified 5 or 6 players, and they left Rory out, and then they caveated it. He's a horse for every for every golf course. So hitting it like he does, I think what we used to say about Brooks Koepka seeing a major, that his eyes got wide and his game became sharp when he just drove in. I think Rory almost sees that when he sees the word open, whether it's the Canadian Open, the U.S. Open, the, Scottish Open, and now the Open Champion. I think he sees those types of things as something that's really, really important to him. And to your point, having a little bit of familiarity, he got caught what it was a few weeks ago over there playing a practice round.
Why do they shame him for that? Does that surprise you? I mean, to me, that's be like the equivalent of an NFL quarterback in the offseason watching film of the division rival.
Yeah, I think it's taking advantage of your opportunities. Absolutely. Going and getting rounds at Augusta. Prior to or on a week off, going somewhere else. I think absolutely it's taking advantage of a great opportunity and becoming familiar with it when he probably didn't want to talk to Nick Faldo necessarily, but taking advantage of the opportunity to get around when nobody else is paying attention to you.
This is a little bit off the topic, but not really. When talking about the game of golf in the future, the last time I was in studio with you was the day that all that news broke about the 2 different tours that were coming and basically the relegation and things that were going to go along those lines. Now that people have had a couple of weeks to digest what the future of golf looks like, what has been the reaction around the golf game for what's coming down the line?
I think for the most part, it's been really, really positive. I mean, certainly when you take all of the stakeholders that touch the professional game of golf, from players to broadcast partners to volunteers to corporate sponsors to fans, all of the above, there's certainly not a product in any sport that you can create that makes everybody happy. But I think ultimately listening to those stakeholders, fans, broadcast partners, sponsors, and hearing exactly what they want. Brian Rolap was on CNBC this morning, talking about, hey, we took their feedback. We obviously didn't implement everything, but basically simplifying the model, adding in and bringing some, codification to relegation and promotion, and having a level still to aspire to when you're playing in some big $4 million events, aspiring to the next level of playing in $20 million events, bringing the people together to play more often. Those were all pieces of feedback that we heard from partners and fans, and it's an opportunity for us to. I think it was great, his announcements of a couple weeks ago, and now the real work really gets put in behind the scenes to build the details and ultimately optimize every week on the PGA Tour Championship Series.
Lee, give us an update on the Players Championship. What do you guys kind of work on this time of year?
Yeah, it's really ramping up, trying to. The great thing about all of the support that we get throughout this area in Northeast Florida and beyond is that the tournament continues to grow. And so, we're always looking at opportunities to expand, opportunities to build more experiences all the way around. I think we're looking at just cluing you guys in. We're looking at different media opportunities and places you can go get hits with, nice backgrounds that we, have done before, but haven't necessarily, nailed down particular locations, especially 17, new hospitality venues, expanded hospitality venues, double-deckering in areas that have never been double-deckered before. The off season, we did some work on number 4 and number 15 to help out fan flow and player flow. So, the endeavor to get bigger and better and ultimately reach potential never stops. So even here in mid-July, it's always fun to focus on that 1 week in March.
Fantastic. Lee Smith, thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate the treats, Hacker. They brought us cake.
You got it.
How
I
about
see
that?
that.
You got to love that.
I'm excited.
Thank you, guys. And
you got it.
And thank you for bringing in this wonderful guest, Ray. It was a pleasure meeting you. So that's going to do it for us talking some golf, but we'll be back on the Frangie Show after this. We're going to get it to the NFL. We're going to break down our Week 3 picks. We'll do that next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Chevrolet is proud to be a 9-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Well, it's earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness, all part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. Now look, I've been buying my cars from Nimnik forever. That is a true story. I started in 1982 buying my cars from Billy Nimnik Jr. God rest his soul. He taught me how to buy a car, and I've been doing it ever since. I trust my friends at Nimnik. They care about the community. They care about their customers. They do it right. They've supported our charity, Walk Off Charity, so many times. I really do appreciate them. If you want to buy a car, you want to be treated right, not just when you buy the car, but after the sale as well. Well, that's what they do. They care about their customers. They care about this community, and they care about treating you right. So who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? That answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnik. Visit their showroom off Cassett or go to nimnikchevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. With so many messages, we know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. We'll help you find doctors to get you better, and we'll work hard to maximize any recovery. Visit our website and look at our reviews to see how we've helped people just like you make this important decision. Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Hacker here for Cornerstone Interior Solutions. If your AC is working overtime every summer, your insulation may be the problem. Homeowners and builders across Northeast Florida are calling Cornerstone to upgrade to spray foam insulation. It seals homes, crawl spaces, garages, blocking in cool air and blocking out heat. So your home stays cooler, your system runs easier, and your energy bills stay under control. Don't wait for peak heat. Visit CornerstoneInteriorSolutions.com.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. Wait, is that Ronaldinho? Ronaldinho, you think Brazil will win it all this summer?
Claro que sí.
Can I just say, you're my favorite player, ever.
Bet all of soccer's biggest matches this summer on Hard Rock Bet. And keep your cool in case you run into Ronaldinho. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and back your country. Roll with us. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Hey, gang, Prosser here. Nothing like a good promise kept, and that's what you get from the Promise Keepers, Chad and Sandy at Chad and Sandy Realty. Your home sold guaranteed, or they'll buy it. Chad and Sandy have the largest pool of buyers in the area. Their home selling program is designed to maximize your sales, and the proof is there. Need max price? Chad and Sandy's science-based system is a proven, repeatable system guaranteed to sell, or they wouldn't offer you this promise. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. No required repairs. Pick your move date. You are good to go. Robert at Cordova Palms in St. Augustine said, I needed to downsize, but my home had already been listed with another agent for 136 days and failed to sell. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, decided to give them a try, made all the difference, bought me a full price offer just 18 days. They can for you too. Go to ChadandSandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Stanley Pools. Welcome back to The Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday, but Hacker kind enough to sit in with us again for a fourth day, which we greatly appreciate. JJ LaSelva is here. Man, isn't Lee Smith good at talking golf?
Oh, he is.
I mean,
absolutely.
Gosh, I can't. And I'm looking forward to this weekend because, like you said, it's great with the Scottish Open, particularly if like Rory and Scotty are really. I mean, I think it's going to be hard for it not to be an exciting conclusion. Not that it has to necessarily be both those guys in it or even one of them. It is a great field. So it is great that you wake up at in the morning, you got drama right out of the gate, and you'll have it the next 2 weekends because obviously Royal Birkdale, be the same situation.
You think of some of the past champions at Royal Birkdale: Arnold Palmer, Tom Watson, Ian Baker Finch, among them Mark O'Mara, and then obviously Padraig Harrington, and most recently Jordan Spieth. And I remember when Spieth won there the last time. Crazy ending to that tournament. Hopefully, we have some more drama on Sunday of next week.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great. We really appreciate Lee's golf insights. So let's get it to the NFL. We've been doing our week-by-week picks. We're on to week 3. So, again, we're going to do week 4 tomorrow on the lead. That'll be me and O'Halloran and JJ. And then after that, we're going to share the results from the 4-game start to the season. And I can already tell you, I think it's going to be pretty eye-opening, just kind of tabulating the first 2 today. But let's jump right into it. So week 3, the Thursday night matchup. Again, Hacker, you're going to give us your winner. JJ, you'll give us your winner. And if there is a tie, I will break it. Atlanta at Green Bay.
That's a tough place for anybody to go into on a nighttime atmosphere, a Thursday night at Lambeau. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, I like the home team in that one, especially at night.
All right, Green Bay gets the win. Let's move to the Sunday 1 o'clock window. The LA Chargers at the Buffalo Bills.
This kind of goes into what you were talking about. You look at the Bills' first 3 games. At Houston, home Detroit, home against the Chargers.
I mean, they could be 0-3.
So you're going the Texans and that defense. Then back-to-back weeks, you got to play Jared Goff and the Lions, Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Chargers got to go across the country. 1 o'clock on Sunday, September 27th. I will take Buffalo.
I'll take the Chargers just to see who Hayes picks.
I'll take the Bills.
That's a toss-up.
It is. It's a great game, but that's one where the Chargers have to show me. I mean, that's going to be a tough environment to go in and beat Josh Allen and the Bills. So I'll take the Bills in what'll be one of the better matchups in Week 3. Carolina at Cleveland.
Ooh, what a barn burner this will be.
Hey, Carolina won their division.
Yeah, they did. They did. And they got Devin Lloyd. They got Jalen Phillips. They spent a little money this offseason. I'll take Cleveland. At home, I'll take Cleveland to win that game.
I like Carolina. It's going to take I just can't pick Cleveland against anyone.
Okay, I'll go with Hack here. I'll take the Browns in an upset. You know there's going to be some.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
They're not going to go 0-17,
yeah.
I don't think.
The Jets, the Dolphins, maybe.
Yeah.
But
there's going to be a team
the
that
Browns
starts
are actually,
2-1.
To me, the Browns are like the best bad team.
Because their defense.
Yeah, because I still even think, I don't think the Myles Garrett trade kills them. Because I love Jared Verse.
Yeah.
And so, again, they're probably not going to get great quarterback play, but they do have really good trenches. They've got good running backs. They've at least got some talent at receiver. They have a great up-and-coming tight end.
And what if
Fannin,
Deshaun is...
And they have a great defense.
Deshaun, what if he is just...
Somehow finds
respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they could be dangerous. But so anyway, we'll give Cleveland the home win over the Carolina Panthers. How about this one's going to come down to the final play. Jets at Lions.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of
I'll just move on.
Yeah, speaking
like
of
the Lions
0-17,
yes.
The Jets are awful. And Aaron Glenn, by the way, people thought he should have lost his job last year. I don't know if he lasts the entire season.
No. Can you imagine if you got Aaron Glenn and Billy Napier in a film room together?
Oh, my gosh.
How much you'd learn?
What was he falling asleep at last year?
Oh, the Combine.
The Combine.
Yeah, he fell asleep at the Combine.
That I don't blame him for.
Yeah.
But how about this one? Houston at Indianapolis.
Oh,
boy, the Colts. What happened? The NFL just dealt them a horrible hand.
And didn't they have a crazy good start last year?
They did. And then Daniel Jones got hurt, and then Jonathan Taylor, his season went into the tank after that. And
think about Indianapolis' first 3 games. Baltimore, Kansas City, and Houston. That is brutal.
Yeah.
I'll take the Colts in that one.
I think Houston's going to win because they have to.
I'll take Houston
after their first two. I think their first two are crazy.
I will tell you this, because now it doesn't really matter. In terms of particularly for Hacker, because Hacker won't be here tomorrow to pick. So now I'm not worried about his bias. So Houston and Indianapolis going into this game based on our picks.
0-2.
That's an 0-2 against an 0-2.
Yeah.
So that's a loser leaves town. And in our scenario, it's the Colts dropping to 0-3. Kansas City at Miami. We all like the Chiefs. I'm not even going to ask you guys about that. Tennessee at the New York Giants.
Oh, give me the Giants. I think the Giants are a sleeper team. It wouldn't shock me if they're competing for a wild card.
Yeah, especially at home. I'll go to New York.
Giants get the win. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
That's a tough division. That entire division minus Cleveland, I could very easily see the Steelers, the Bengals, or obviously the Ravens winning that. That game's in Pittsburgh. I don't think it matters. I'll take Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going to, by the way, they just showed Shakira. She's still got it, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with the Bengals on that one.
All right, so we've got one Cincinnati, one Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'll take Pittsburgh at home to break the tie. All right, Seattle at Washington. Again, this is still the Sunday 1 o'clock window.
Kind of the same thing I'm thinking with the Chargers and the Bills. Seattle cross-country trip. Did not affect them here in Jacksonville last year, but I don't think Washington will have a corner on their team for 5 days that blows a 62-yard touchdown on the first play of the game. I'll take Washington in a little bit of an upset.
Okay.
I'll take Seattle.
All right, I'll take Washington.
Wow. That would be a huge early season, hey, we're back if you're Washington.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's pause here because I want to take a break. But when we come back, we're going to finish out the Week 3 slate, which kicks off as we wrap up the Sunday 1 o'clock window. There's only one game in that window we have yet to pick. That is New England at Jacksonville. We will do that next. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The 1010XL Sports Network delivers podcasts, video, and exclusive content across every platform. Jacksonville Sports reimagined at 1010XL.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you as Walk-Off Charities has grown, we now manage a large athletic facility with numerous fields, including the Bregan Baseball Complex. To get around, we needed a good, reliable golf cart. I went straight to Dynamic Drives and Design in Jack's Peak. I met with Travis, told him exactly what our needs were. Would you believe before you knew it, the perfect cart was delivered to us at an incredible price? If you need a golf cart, Travis and his team are the go-to. Learn more about them at dynamicdrivesdesign.com.
The biggest sporting event of the summer is about to kick off. I'm JJ LaSilva from The Frangie Show, and if you want a real man's view of the beautiful game and analysis of Team USA, tune in to 1010XL's Soccer Show podcast, laced up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Here's some advice I've learned over the years. The best time to fix something around your house is before it forces you to. Don't wait until your plumbing fails, your septic system backs up, or your AC quits on the hottest weekend of the summer. This month, DuckDuckRooter is making it easier to stay ahead of the problem. Save $250 on a whole home repipe or redrain, $50 on any septic service, and $500 on a new AC system. When you're stuck, call DuckDuckRooter, 904-862-6769 or DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family's secret: Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a dandy today.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL is a proud supporter of the Alive Credit Union Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament, July 9th through 18th. Fish for fun and prizes and support Jacksonville Marine Charities. Learn more at kingfishtournament.com.
Checkmate. I'm Braden Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the Checkmate King.
The two most important factors behind a great garage floor coating are the preparation and the application.
So we prepare every floor with high-performance diamond grinding pads. But just ugly diamonds, right, Brendan? If we find any nice ones, I could use some crown jewels.
Sorry, Chester. Our special grinding pads use diamonds that are too ugly for jewelry.
But they create the perfect surface to bind with our multi-layer polymer coating for years of durable performance.
You'll have to pick out jewelry on your own time, Your Highness.
The term is Your Majesty, Brendan, but I'll let it go this time.
Perfect preparation?
Check. Expert application?
Check. A gorgeous new floor that sparkles like a diamond in your garage? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Hey, I'll be home in about 10 minutes. Actually, make it 8.
Hey, Mom. Yep, I'm walking home now. Mom, I'm trying to cross, but I don't think this driver sees me. No, they're driving too fast. Mom!
Speeding catches up with you. Early, on time, a little late, just get there safely. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation's Target Zero initiative.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
Man, JJ giving us some old school Def Leppard. This is Pyromania off that album.
I'm in the 80s mood. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hair Nation is what this is.
Yeah, exactly. This is definitely Hair Nation. But yeah, great song. Welcome back to the Frangie Show. We've got Hack, JJ. I'm Hayes Carline. Frank's on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. All right, so we're sticking with the NFL here. We're breaking down week 3, and we've already picked about half the slate. So we'll continue now. Again, we're in the Sunday 1 o'clock block. New England at the Jaguars. Who you got, Hacker?
This is a game we wanted to see last year desperately. We thought Jacksonville would beat New England last year, and I don't see any reason why Jacksonville shouldn't beat New England this year. Plus, it's at home. That'll be a pretty nice crowd. Give me the Jaguars. I like Jacksonville to win that game.
I'll say New England, but I like the Jags to win, but I want to hear Hayes' opinion.
I'll take New England.
Wow.
And just, yeah, and this is where I'm kind of letting what my bias get into this a little bit because we do have the Jaguars 2-0.
They're not going
I
undefeated.
don't think they're going to go 3-0 because we had them beating Cleveland, but then we had them beating Denver on the road in week 2.
So you think they'll lose one of those?
That's sort of my guess. So I'll say that New England gets it done here. All right, that gets us to the Sunday 4:00 window. Arizona at San Fran.
Yikes. I'm doing my NFC West preview this week on Hacker After Dark, and one thing that's apparent is that Arizona has talent, but in that division, they're just so far behind the other 3 teams. Plus, that game is in San Francisco. Give me the 49ers.
I agree with that.
All
completely.
right, San Francisco gets it. How about Minnesota at Tampa Bay?
4:00 game. Baker Mayfield against Kyler Murray. Got 2 number 1 picks going at it. I'll take the Bucks at home to win that game.
I agree with that. To me, it's a toss-up, so I'll go with the home team.
Okay.
In the heat.
Yep. Baltimore versus Dallas. This game is in Rio, but it is a Sunday in the 4:00 window ball game.
Boy. I'll take Dallas to win that.
So we have so many international games that they're not even standalone games anymore.
Well,
They're just
I
like
was
at
surprised
4
by that. I
o'clock.
think most of them will be
Right.
the ones like in London and over the Germany.
Rio's
those will
only
be
like
the 9:30. They may even be the same.
I think Rio's like 2 hours. They're like
they're around the
Mountain
same as
time
us.
Or whatever. Yeah, they're like Denver time.
But my point is, usually with the international games,
Right.
they'll have its own window for them.
Correct, because I
But now
thought
it's
it was
just like another 4 o'clock game.
I thought it was interesting too because they played in Rio it was like the Friday
Last
of week
year.
1 last year. It was Chargers Chiefs, and that was a night game. I think
it was.
So
it was a standalone. It was the only game,
and
of
it
the
was
day.
the only game of the day. So I don't know why. I thought it was interesting too that it's just bunched in here. But unless this is wrong,
who are the teams? Dallas. And...
it's Ravens Cowboys.
I'll take the Cowboys.
All right.
What a nice game for Rio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really nice game.
Las Vegas at New Orleans.
Ooh, what a battle that's going to be.
Yeah.
I'll take New Orleans to win that game.
Me too. I like their backfield. We talked about Kamara yesterday, and there's just such a question mark with Vegas quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Like, when is it gonna be Mendoza?
Right. In the Superdome, that's a tough place to play. So yeah, I would agree with you guys, Saints. All right, we are on to Sunday Night Football. The LA Rams, who basically are on primetime like every week. Let's just to review. In week 1, they're in Australia, so they're the Thursday night game standalone. Week 2, they're on Monday Night Football hosting the Giants. And now in week 3, they're on Sunday Night Football at Denver. So who you got? Rams at Broncos.
Well, of course, the Broncos will be limping in here to week 3 after what the Jaguars do to them in week 2. But I don't think they're going to lose back-to-back games at Mile High. Might be a tad of an upset, but I'll take Denver.
Yeah, after a Josh Allen 6 sacks performance, I'll go with the Rams.
Okay, I'll take Denver. Just for that kind of where you're on. I just don't think we have Denver losing to the Jaguars. Are they going to lose back-to-back home? Really, and to be honest, again, they're 0-2 going into this game.
Yeah.
That's where we have Denver.
But again, that's
tough. And the
tough.
Rams are 2-0.
I mean, you got Denver going Kansas City, Jacksonville, and the Rams.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do this.
In the first 3 weeks, that's insane.
Honestly, looking at the first 4 weeks of the NFL season, it is extraordinary how top-heavy the matchups are. So, so anyway, we'll take Denver there. And then Monday Night Football, we'll wrap it up here. Philadelphia at Chicago.
I get the vibe
I love that game.
I get the vibe that Sirianni has probably circled this one. Because if you'll remember, Chicago kind of embarrassed Philadelphia last year. I don't think that's going to happen 2 years in a row. That was the game that Ben Johnson, I think, ripped his shirt off in the locker room and was going nuts, if you'll remember. And it's something about Sirianni. I just think he's going to remember that. So I'm going to take Philadelphia in that game.
I think I would pick the Eagles, but I'll go the opposite way to hear what Hayes has
I'll
to
take the
say.
Bears, too. I think part of this has been a little bit of a market correction, but that's fine because that's usually what the NFL is. It's very rare to see 0-3. It's very rare to see 3-0. But great stuff. That was a lot of fun.
That's
so
a hell
tomorrow,
of a Monday night game. Usually they've been getting stuck with some crappers.
No, that whole week, the Atlanta Green Bay Thursday night game, I don't love, but you get Bijan, you get Pitts, you get Drake London. We'll see if it's Tua or Penix. And then you get Green Bay, who, obviously you feel like is going to be a good ball club.
Anytime you're prime time at Lambeau, it's worth watching.
That's a very good point, too.
And like you said, for fantasy purposes, the Falcons are an important team. Even if they suck,
right?
Everybody watches them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, Sunday Night Football that week, Rams, Broncos, and then Eagles, Bears in the Monday night slot. So, that should be a lot of fun. Tomorrow on The Lead, we will do week 4. That'll be Ryan picking and JJ picking and me breaking ties. And then we're going to reveal our picks for how the first 4 weeks went. It's going to be interesting. I mean, we've already, again, we just were talking about in our last segment, we had Houston going to Indianapolis, both teams 0-2 going into that game. So, I mean, imagine the pressure on both of those clubs, and we like the Texans to get the win there.
And truthfully, I don't think that's that far-fetched when you realize Houston starts with Buffalo and Cincinnati. I mean, It's not crazy to think. Now, granted, they're both in Houston, so can they lose 2 home games to begin the year? But nevertheless, when you got to play Josh Allen in week 1 and then turn right back around and play Joe Burrow in week 2, that is a tough start.
Because we just don't know if Houston's going to be able to score.
Yeah.
I mean, their offensive line still, everybody expects it to be an eyesore, a massive weakness. And they really, I mean, I know they added a running back, but it doesn't really look like they've done that much to help Stroud out. And if Stroud's just sort of an average player, if that's sort of what he's regressed into and that's what he's going to be at this level, Josh Allen and Joe Burrow aren't going to have to do. If Joe Burrow and Josh Allen can get to 17 points, it might be enough.
Stroud has gotten a pass this offseason. Can you imagine if that was Trevor Lawrence that looked like that in the playoffs last year? I mean, Stroud threw 4 picks in the first half of that loss to New England, and he played, I guess, a little better in the second half, but there's no doubt the Texans lost that game because of C.J. Stroud, and he has just gotten a pass this offseason. If that's Trevor that did that, he would be getting roasted for the last 6 months. I don't know why Stroud seems to get a pass on things like that and Trevor doesn't.
I honestly, I think Houston as an organization has gotten a pass. When you look at somehow this offseason, it went from nationally, the perception was the Jaguars were the best team in this division, to now it's like you can't find anybody that thinks that. Whether it's projected standings, whether it's strength of the roster, whatever the ranking is, I think I do agree with you that Stroud's probably gotten the biggest pass, but it seems like almost because they can't look, if you don't have an offense, you have a very limited upside. We saw it here in 2017. You can have an amazing defense and you can do some good things. But ultimately, if you can't score, if you can't reliably move the football, you're going to have issues. So we'll see. D'Amico Ryans obviously has his work cut out trying to fix that offense. We come back on the Frangie Show. Let's stay in the NFL. We're going to talk some Jaguars football, looking at some offensive projections for Trevor Lawrence, the receivers, Brenton Strange, and the running backs from a fantasy perspective. Should be quite fun. We'll do that next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Coherent thought.
Gallop. Yeah. That's just me not being able to speak. Is
that okay?
The more you listen, the smarter you get.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. On Southside and JTB, for a limited time, Key Buick GMC has marked down select new GMC Sierra 1500 models. Below employee pricing, you pay less than what our employees pay. Plus, at Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us or shop online at keybuickgmc.com. We are professional-grade. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drive time only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Keep an eye and an ear out for Johnny O.
I'm listening.
Catch the man who knows Jacksonville football, John Osher.
Are you sure?
Weekdays on 1010XL. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialist for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialist take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey roofers, finish and close out jobs same day with PermitRockstar.com. Their full-service permitting platform helps contractors cut permitting delays by up to 80%. Stop waiting and start building with PermitRockstar.com.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
I'm with Sullivan from Cycles of Jacksonville and Sullivan. You love the beach and you love to ride, so tell everybody what Honda's got cooking right now.
Yes, definitely. Here at Cycles of Jacksonville, we have a full line, Hondas, Vespas, Triumphs, everything you can think of just to ride to the beach. It's going to be the best summer ever when you hop on that ride this year.
And so if you head to the showroom first, you're going to see all sorts of examples of what they can enjoy.
Exactly. Come see us at the showroom, Atlantic Boulevard. We're ready to see you there.
You can log on, check out their Facebook page or cyclesofjacksonville.com.
Rick Ballou here. DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Florida. Win or go home, that's it. That's the World Cup knockout round, and DraftKings has you covered every single match. The DraftKings app is now live in Florida, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you are in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Florida, the world's biggest stage in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code 1010XL, spend $5 and get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. The code is 1010XL in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions. Dollars that expire in 1 year, ends July 19th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
I'm Jared Justice with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Jags preseason games will be featured on the ESPN app for those outside of the Jacksonville market. FSU O-lineman Jaden Todd was honored by the Citrus County Sheriff's Office yesterday for helping save an unconscious boater's life last month. The Jumbo Shrimp won yesterday 12-2. Game 3 against the Durham Bulls is tonight at 7:05. The quarterfinals are underway. 1010XL has World Cup updates all day. It's 99 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday, but we've got Hacker, we've got JJ. I'm Hayes Carline. All right, let's talk Jaguars from a fantasy football perspective, Hacker. If you had to guess, is there a Jaguar that you think you'll probably end up drafting more in leagues than another? Do you have like a kind of a Jaguar fantasy MVP in your mind at this point?
Yeah, I think I do. But the thing with the Jaguars is it's a good problem to have in real life. It's a terrible fantasy football problem to have because you don't know Brian Thomas Jr., Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, heck, even Brenton Strange. Any Sunday could be their Sunday. I mean, with Cincinnati, you know you're going to draft Jamar Chase. Minnesota, you know you're going to draft Jefferson. The Rams, you know you're going to draft Nakua. The Jaguars don't have a guy like that, but they have a bunch of guys. But I think personally that Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a rebound season. Now, I spent a first-round pick in one of my drafts on Brian Thomas Jr. last year. That did not work out well for me. And a lot of people.
Prayers.
Yeah. Well, and then I took Brock Bowers in round 2, and he was massively injured.
Well,
so
he won you the Jaguar game.
Yeah, well, that's true. He did do that. But no, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a rebound year. And if you had to ask me who's going to have the most touchdowns and the most yardage, I don't know about the most catches, but touchdown and yardage, I think it's going to be BTJ.
Could I get you to come along with me that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the Jaguar fantasy MVP from an overperforming where he's going to be drafted standpoint? Because this is my theory on it. I think Trevor Lawrence, he doesn't get penalized because of the diversity of weapons.
Right.
So I think it's going to be hard for Trevor Lawrence to have many bad. Everybody has a bad game here or there, even the great ones. But I don't think it's going to happen all that often. It's obviously a second year under Liam Cohen. He's got the entire offensive, brain power back with Udinsky and so forth. So not much has changed for Trevor on that side of the ball. And I just feel like each week he's a good bet to put up, 250 through the air and 2 or 3 touchdowns. The other thing about Trevor, I still don't really consider him to be like much of a running threat, but he ran for 9 touchdowns, which is stupendous.
And in fantasy, it's 2 more points.
Oh,
for
yeah. I mean, that has way more value than a passing touchdown. So I could see Trevor having a huge fan, particularly if the rushing stays. I don't know that it will, because I think some of that was, okay, I need to go make something happen. The more knowledge he has, the more comfortable he is in the system, he's probably going to find the pass instead of necessarily taking off, which could hurt him from a fantasy standpoint. But I mean, where would you guess he's going to get drafted? Somewhere between like quarterback 9 and 12?
Well, I pulled it up right here. I want to get your thoughts. So ESPN actually did this yesterday. Their 2026 quarterback rankings, 1 to 32. Where do you think they had Trevor Lawrence?
13.
13. They're actually a little higher than that. Let me tell you. Josh Allen, 1. No complaints there. Lamar Jackson, 2. Your guy, Jaden Daniels, number 3. They're really high on him.
Yeah.
Drake May, 4. All right.
Yeah, better weapons.
Yeah.
And he's a running threat.
Jalen Hurts, 5. Burrow is 6. Jackson Dart, number 7.
Okay.
Brock Purdy, 8. And then you get to Trevor at number 9.
Okay, I think that's so. If he's the 9th, if it's a 1 quarterback league, and he's 9th, I mean that's a pretty late round selection.
Yeah, you're looking in a 12-team league. That would be what, 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Round 8, round 9.
That's what I would think.
Yeah,
but I think he's somebody that might be the 9th quarterback off the board, but finishes top 4 fantasy wise, because it's just going to be hard. They can survive an injury. They can survive an injury along the offensive line, which when you start thinking about, putting up numbers, a lot of these quarterbacks, you lose 1 or 2 offensive linemen, it falls apart. I mean, look at Justin Herbert last year, lost both of his sterling offensive tackles and didn't had a decent year considering the circumstances. But so I think he's just in such a perfect environment to put up huge numbers this year. Now, the only thing that would work against him is I do think the Jaguars are going to win a bunch of games and certainly be leading in games more often than not. So how often is he going to be throwing in the final 5 minutes of a game? You worry about some of that. But I think if I had to plant my flag, if I had to guess on a Jaguar player that I will probably find myself drafting more than I would think, it'll be Trevor. Because if I wait on quarterback and Trevor's there in like round 6, 7, or 8, I'm going to be very bullish that he's going to outperform where I'm picking him.
Do you agree that Brian Thomas Jr. will lead in yardage and touchdowns?
I kind of think it'll be like Myers and catches.
That's where I am. I'm Myers and catches.
Yeah, probably. And then I'd say Myers and catches, Washington and yards, and like BTJ and touchdowns.
And I bet if that's
like something like that.
If that's the case, the Jaguars might be the only team that would have a different receiver.
Yeah.
And we talked about this off air yesterday. My thing with Brian Thomas Jr., he's the guy that's capable of going 8 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I think he's also the guy that the next week could have 2 grabs for 17 yards.
Absolutely.
Whereas Jacoby Myers, I think every week is going to give you 5 catches for 57 yards.
Very dependable.
And he's going to do that every single Sunday. It won't be the gaudy numbers that BTJ is capable of putting up. And now my question then, and you alluded to this guy, where is Parker Washington in the grand scheme of things?
I think if I was drafting, I'd probably stay away from Jaguar receivers, to be honest. By the time that they get picked, I probably won't be ready to pick them where they'll get selected. So they'll have to fall, I think, for me to be in the market. But I would agree with you. I'd probably say from a fantasy standpoint, Parker 1, BTJ 2, Jacoby 3, but all very close together. Like, I would not be the least bit surprised if one finishes as fantasy like 17 receiver, the next one's like 19, and the next one's 23, where they're very, very close together. And to your point, there's going to be some weeks where like BTJ is going to be the most volatile. So he'll probably win you the most games if he's in your lineup, but he's also going to be probably the first guy you point to in a loss when he gets you like 3.7 points.
How deep a league would you have to be in to draft Travis Hunter?
As an offensive player, I definitely won't draft him.
You would draft him at all?
I wouldn't draft him at all.
Okay.
And it's nothing against. I just wouldn't. It's already such a battle of attrition. I mean, we've all played fantasy football for a really long time. Usually the teams that do very well are the teams that did not get crippled by injury. So I wouldn't want to add to the risk of it. But see, I also don't like taking players that also are return guys for that very reason. I don't want unnecessary hits on players that I draft. What about you? Where would you take
I mean, I think that Travis Hunter, for all the talk that he's not going to play any offense, that's subsided. He is going to play offense. Now, is that 10 snaps a game? Is that 15 snaps a game? Is that 20 snaps a game? I don't know. But I think he is such an electrifying guy, and he's such a polarizing guy that I think he will find himself drafted in deeper leagues because he would be capable. I mean, maybe he gets you 1 or 2 catches, but if one of those catches goes for 35 yards and a touchdown, that's all you need for that given week, and it's going to be worth it to take him in the later rounds.
What about a running back?
See, that's the thing. I mean, Bashal Tutin, to me, should get drafted ahead of Chris Rodriguez, although what I'm seeing is Rodriguez going ahead of Tutin because the thought nationally from the fantasy football guys is that Rodriguez is going to get the start and that Tutin will be kind of 1A. I don't necessarily know if I believe that. I would take Bashal Tutin right now over Chris Rodriguez.
I would too, and Tutin would be a guy I would be monitoring. Again, I don't know where he'd be ranked, but probably my guess is Bashal Tutin's probably like early 30s, somewhere in
For
there.
running
When you
backs?
look at rankings, would be probably like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Something like that. So when you're talking about a player like that, obviously you're now looking at a guy that can sort of be a league winner for you, like a young player that might end up having a total breakthrough performance that kind of season. And I think Bashal Tutin fits that bill. I mean, I really like him as a player. I get that they added Chris Rodriguez and that he's got a great history with Liam Cohen in college. But I still think I would definitely take Tutin over Rodriguez. And Tutin's a guy that if I start to see him slide, he's a guy that I might take a round earlier than expected.
ESPN.com has Bashal Tutin 25th in their top 50 running backs. They got Chris Rodriguez, number 50.
Oh,
he's the last guy on the top 50.
All right, so D-Rock's been telling them buy Tutin stock.
Yeah.
And sell your Rodriguez stock.
And I agree with Tutin. And I guess the question, too, though, is when you think about fantasy football, you think about obviously scoring touchdowns. Rodriguez is the goal line back, though, right? Is he not going to get all the goal line touches?
He's probably going to get the majority of
And
them.
I would almost think Quint Allen Jr. might get some goal line look as well.
And again, you got a quarterback that ran for 9 touchdowns last year. That is a big number.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like, if Lamar, I guarantee you, if you told Lamar Jackson right now that he's going to run for 9 touchdowns this season, he's taking it. And so that is a big number. So you just don't know when they get inside the 1 or 2. Does Trevor just elect to keep it and run it in? So what about Brenton Strange? I love him as a player. I'm not overly optimistic that he's going to have any kind of massive fantasy breakthrough. I mean, he's obviously going to get drafted, and he's a good, I'd say, second tight end if your league is deep enough where you're carrying 2 tight ends. But I would not expect Brenton Strange to become a fantasy darling.
No, I wouldn't either. In a 12-team league, ESPN has him ranked 20th, so he's just barely in the tight end 2 range. 46 grabs, 540 yards, a handful of touchdowns. Now, he did miss 5 games, So if you equal that out, he probably would have had close to 60 catches last year, over 600 yards, maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns, which is not terrible. But the last time I checked, there's only one football. And this is kind of what we're talking about with the Jaguars. It's a good problem in reality, and I'm looking forward to it in reality. From a fantasy football standpoint, I'm not going to touch a lot of Jaguar guys because, again, with BTJ, Parker, Jacoby, Brenton Strange, Tootin, Rodriguez, if you want to lump in LaQuint Allen, if you want to lump in Travis Hunter, that's like 8 dudes that theoretically could make plays on Sunday, and they're going to eat each other's statistics.
Yeah, great stuff. When we come back on the Frangie Show, let's keep talking Jaguars. We'll bring in our good buddy Pete Prisco. We'll do that next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This World Cup soccer update is laced up by Valvoline Instant Oil Changes and Houston's Meats.
Westwood One Sports presents this World Soccer Update, sponsored by Henkel, official partner of U.S. Soccer. Moroccan goalkeeper Yassine Bono, the story of the first half of the quarterfinal against France. 3 saves, including on a penalty kick by Kylian Mbappe. Morocco and France are scoreless at halftime in Foxborough. That's the first time in his World Cup career that Mbappe has missed a penalty kick. Meanwhile, Morocco's first shot didn't come until the final seconds of the half. Winner of this one will take on the winner of tomorrow's Spain-Belgium match in the semifinals. Elsewhere, FIFA giving England's Jarrell Kwanzaa a 2-match ban for his red card against Mexico in the round of 16. So Kwanzaa will miss Saturday's quarterfinal against Norway, and he'd also miss the semifinals should England advance. Again, at halftime in Foxborough, France and Morocco are scoreless in the first quarterfinal. With this 2026 World Soccer Update, I'm Brad Heller, Westwood One Sports.
Get ready to gear up for the final stretch. Henkel Summer of Soccer Sweepstakes is giving fans the chance to win U.S. Soccer store gift cards to stock up on everything you need to support the home team. Last chance to win, enter now. No purchase necessary. Starts June 16th and ends July 31st, 2026. Must be 18 and a resident of the contiguous United States. Sponsored by Henkel. Henkel, proud partner of U.S. Soccer.
Hearing loss makes it hard to stay connected over the phone. Now, a new caption telephone, CapTel, shows captions of everything a caller says. It's like closed captions for TV, but for phone calls. It's helping people nationwide reconnect to family and friends. Best of all, CapTel is available at no cost to people with hearing loss. Shipping and installation are free. Struggling with hearing loss? Call now to see if you qualify for a no-cost CapTel phone. Call 800-375-1175. That's 800-375-1175.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now is a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740. You trusted a medical professional with your care. When that trust is broken, the results can be devastating. Medical error can leave patients and families facing unanswered questions and lifelong challenges. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards & Raggets helps you understand and protect your legal rights after medical negligence. No fees unless you recover damages. We're here to help. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards & Raggets, offices Jacksonville.
His name is John Osher.
I know, right?
If the stadium walls could talk, Johnny O would know.
All we're trying to say is...
Listen for Jacksonville's senior writer weekdays on 1010XL. Served up by Twin Peaks.
It's here, Middleburg. Firehouse Subs is now open at the all-new Clay Town Center. Try the bold new steak and cheese melt, stacked with premium steak, melted cheese, and big flavor in every bite. Firehouse Subs at the Clay Town Center, open now.
Homeowners running out of space in your kitchen, closets bursting at the seams, or maybe your bathroom just feels outdated and cluttered. At Harvest Construction and Remodeling, custom cabinets are what they do best. Owner Scott spent years as the main cabinet installer for one of the region's largest big box retailers. As a family man growing his own business, he brings that experience directly to homeowners like you. They'll create beautiful storage solutions that improve look, feel, and function. Visit harvestrenovations.com.
License number CRC 1331012.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
Absolutely. Head to Showtime at the corner of Phillips and Shad Road and find Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Me and Jackson love going into Showtime. It is fantastic. It is our great pleasure to welcome in our good friend, Pete Prisco, senior NFL columnist for CBS Sports. Pete, how you doing? Are you enjoying the World Cup?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's soccer.
Yeah.
It's soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you root for the United States, but am I going to sit glued to watch France and Morocco? No.
You're breaking down Packers-Vikings tape. I know. As you should be. You getting excited?
Actually,
We got training camp starting this month.
Yeah, I thought went to jury duty today and thought I might have got stuck on a 3-week trial, but I got out of it.
I would have no more confidence in another individual in this country getting out of jury duty than you, Pete.
Yeah, I found a way, and believe me, I didn't want to sit for a 3-week trial. It was a civil lawsuit. It would have taken. It was. I knew it was a trouble when they brought in 12 lawyers right at the start, and I go, "Oh no, this is going to be bad." A big one too, because it was a company that went kapooey, and so yeah, it was not good, and I got out of it. So
well, good.
Thankfully.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you're home free. Pete, let's start with the Jaguars. Let's start with Liam Cohen. Incredible first year. But what are some areas, you've obviously been around Liam, you got to see the team in person a few weeks back during OTAs, but how do you kind of see Liam evolving in this second year as Jaguars coach?
Well, look, I think he's proven to be a hell of an offensive coach, but we didn't know about him as a guy who can handle the room, and I think he's even better at that than I thought he would be. And I think, to me, that's the toughest job for any coordinator who takes the next step. And can he handle it? And he proved he can handle it. So I think from that standpoint, he's got to – and I think he's reiterated it all offseason. Last year's last year. History doesn't matter. Go forward. And I think he's got a good barometer for that. So from that standpoint, I think he's going to be really good. From an offensive standpoint, I think he wants to get the ball down. You guys know that. He wants to get the ball down the field more. And so does everybody else in the league. And how does it happen? And there's a lot of things at play for why it hasn't happened. The first one who takes the problem and solves it is going to put up a lot of points. And I'm a big believer that Liam Cohen can do that.
Pete Prisco, CBSSports.com. Pete, I had one of your colleagues, Jordan DeJani, on my show a couple of weeks ago. He did his 32 off seasons. He ranked them 1 to 32. He had Jacksonville last. And to his credit, he came on to talk about it. And then yesterday, NFL.com does something very similar where they grade the off seasons, and they gave the Jaguars an F. An F. I mean, normally if you have a bad off season, you get a C or a D. No, a flat out failing grade. Are you as critical about the Jaguar offseason as some of your national colleagues are?
Absolutely not. And here's where that goes to, okay? And I'm going to be one of those guys that kind of defends what they did in some sort. Look, Devin Lloyd had a big year making plays. Was he really that good to warrant that kind of contract? And they tried to bring him back, but was he that good to go to that number? The answer to that question is no. ETN, nice player, but does he move the needle running between the tackles? And the answer to that question is no. And so everybody looks at those two guys leaving and not adding any major names in terms of free agency, and they say, oh, they're worse. And so that's why that's out there. The other part of it is people didn't like their draft. And look, I get it. I look at it and I say, okay, there's some things that, a little funny. But when you talk to them and you figure out the rationale behind it, you kind of understand. And by the way, you guys know this. I had two of those tight ends on my better than team. I love both of them. Borkature and Kozile were both on my better than team. So I believed in them. So I probably like their draft more than other people. So I look, they also don't take into account you're getting a star corner, and he's going to be a star corner back. You're getting a nickel corner who missed time at the end of the year back. You're getting a guy who can play safety and be a big part of what you can do in the dime packages, who didn't play at all last year, who's an athletic safety. You're getting him back. And so I think, you got to factor in all that stuff, and they don't. And that's why they give those bad grades. So if you really look at it and evaluate it, did they add a lot of people in terms of free agency? No. But free agency isn't a good thing. If you're paying big money for guys who probably aren't worth that kind of money, you have major problems.
Pete, I think as soon as Anthony Campanile and Grant Udisky didn't get head jobs, it automatically made the offseason, at worst, a draw. I mean, the importance of getting that staff to come back in its totality, they've added to it, but that's been guys that they wanted. I mean, that wasn't, because somebody went and hired guys. That was Liam Cohen taking a great staff and making it even better, and guys that he's worked closer with. So I think as you look at it, the familiarity that they have, the depth that they have too, I find to be unusual for an NFL team, particularly when you look at that offensive line, because I get it. It's not, people don't rank the Jaguar offensive line very highly. The best you'll see is it's average. The worst you'll see is that it's a bottom 5 unit in the NFL. But Pete, they probably have 8 or 9 offensive linemen that can, you would think, either based on where they were drafted or what we've already seen out of them, they should have 8 or 9 guys that can all play at a serviceable to good level, I would think. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, look, if Van Lanen comes back and plays like he did last year, they're going to be fine at left tackle. Now, when's he coming back? Word is he's probably going to be back for maybe week 1, week 2. So we'll see. But if he's back, he's the left tackle. You're good at right tackle. The center, look, he's a veteran. He's smart. He's cagey. I think he's going to get pushed for his job, to be honest with you. I think he's going to be a challenge there. By
From
Monheim.
Monheim?
I think, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a challenge there. Right guard, you're going to have a competition there. And, left guard, I don't know if the kid's ready to push him yet. But so I think Cleveland will be the starter. But the line is good. It's not great. It's not, terrible. It's just good. And I think they have a chance to, run the ball better this year in between the tackles. Here's the other part of it. And I talked about this with you guys about 3 weeks ago. They got so many different playmakers in the passing game now that guys are going to complain about not getting the football. When has that been a problem? It's been a long time. You're going to have on third down, if you have, 2, 3 tight ends, or second down, you have 2, 3 tight ends on the field. That means some of your receivers are going to be sitting on their butts, and they're going to not be happy about it. So I think that's the toughest challenge for Liam Cohen this year is massaging egos as you try and do different things in terms of formation, because everybody wants to use 3 tight ends. That's the whole rage now in the league. Oh, you can create mismatches, you can move them around. And so you'll see more of that, and I think Jacksonville's going to do more of that. But when they do, what's that mean? It means that the receivers are going to be sitting on their butt watching. So I think that's something to keep an eye on. I think that's going to be really, going back to your initial question, I think that's the toughest challenge for Liam Cohen.
Pete Prisco, CBSSports.com. Pete, Trevor Lawrence, mid-November to the end of the year last year, probably his best stretch as an NFL quarterback. Year 2 for him with Grant Udinski, with Liam Cohen. What are your expectations for Trevor as training camp is less than 3 weeks away?
Well, think about it. It took him a while to get going last year because he wasn't throwing last spring. Remember, he had the shoulder issue. and he was learning another new offense. Then it kind of clicked for him. As soon as they got Myers, it clicked for him. They started driving the ball down the field. He told them, turn it loose. And in talking to Trevor, he feels so much more comfortable with this offense now. And so that tells you he's ready to start doing even more. And I think you're going to see, going back to what I said about Liam Cohn driving the ball down the field, I think you're going to see more chunk plays in the passing game. I think Trevor is more apt to stand in there and make the big throw down the field. And at times in his career, we've known that. He's taken the easier throw rather than the long throw down the field. And I think that's changing, and it changed at the end of last year, and I think it's going to change even more this year. So I look for big numbers from him. It's kind of like, it's funny, you talk about the national media. He's kind of the forgotten quarterback. Everybody looks at him and they say, well, where do you rank him? And, the guy was, fifth in the MVP voting? People are forgetting about that now. So I think he's going to have a big year.
Wanted to ask you a couple of things from around the league, Pete. Did you get a chance to see the Seth Wickersham story on Sean Payton? It was, it was lengthy, but kind of really interesting in terms of parts of it and how Sean Payton went about his business during the playoff run. Anything stand out for me from that story if you got a chance to see it?
Well, I've known Sean a long time. He's a maniac. And that story just enhanced what I knew about him, was that he's a maniac. And look, everything he does is calculated, and he thinks it out and wants to try and get an angle. And he's always been that way. Back in the day, and I can tell this story, Sean was coaching in New Orleans, and they won a game, I think it was 9-3 against the Jets, and I was there. And Greg Williams was his first-year defensive coordinator. And so I went and Sean came to the podium, and when his offense didn't play well, he was always angry, and he can deny that all he wants, but he was. And so I wrote this whole story about how Greg Williams has revamped the defense and it's worth bringing him there. And Sean was like a wide receiver who didn't get any catches on Sunday because his offense. I fly back the next day to Atlanta, and I check my phone, and I check it, and I got, oh my God, I got this screaming message from him. What are you doing? So I call him back. I go, you're screaming in my phone, and all the time I used to call you the greatest play caller in the league, and you're yelling about this. And so once you back a guy like that off in terms of Sean Payton, and I didn't back him off and be nasty to him because I like him, but I could give me a break, Sean. And ever since then, we've had a great relationship. But he's always looking for the angle, the moment when he can like twist it around and turn it on you and get you to do something more. And I think that's what makes him a great coach. He's a competitive guy with a real drive to win.
16,000 words, right? Was that Seth Wickersham story? It was unbelievable.
It was a great story. He was embedded with him. I think, and I've known Seth too for a long time. Seth's a great writer, and he got great access. I thought it was terrific from a football standpoint. And I'm working on the story. I'm going around training camps working on about the passing game. I think I told you guys that. And I spent an hour with Liam in his office, and I'll tell you what, I learned more, and I know a lot about the game. I learned more in that hour than I might have learned in years. And so I think the game has evolved, and you got to do something like that to show the fans how complicated and how dynamic it is and how challenging it is for these coaches. And again, I go back to this, and I think, somebody told me this. These guys are basically savants at what they do. They really are. But could they do anything else? That's the question. Like, if Liam Cohn is brilliant when he talks about offensive football, and he's like Sean McVay, they remember everything. There's a play from the fourth game, and it's amazing. But could they do anything else? This is what they were meant to be, and they're great at it. And I think Sean Payton's a lot like that.
And Pete, we got to go quick here, but I was going to ask you that. Doing it as long as you've done it, over 3 decades. Have you seen NFL coaches, I guess, just open up more? Because there was a time where there was no way you would get access to meetings and the war room. I know Michael Silver was embedded with the Jaguars a couple of years ago. Do you think we will start seeing more and more of this type of stuff?
I hope so, because it gives the fans a real look inside the organization. And here's the other part of that. There aren't any secrets in the NFL. They think there is, and there really isn't. Everybody knows what you're doing. Coughlin used to think we stood on the bridge and scouted, had people up there scouting his practices. I remember when a helicopter went over, he thought somebody was watching his practices then. No, Come on, give me a break.
It's
Everybody-
Ernie
there's no
Adams.
secret. Yeah, that's right. There's no secrets in the NFL. So I think the more they open it up, the better it is. And, Sean Payton probably had about 40 times where he said, don't write that, don't write that, don't write that, don't write that, can't use that. And so it seemed like it was one of those moments where you got everything. I guarantee you, knowing Sean, there's probably 40 moments in there where he told him, don't write that.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete, great stuff. We always appreciate it. Look forward to talking with you next week.
You got it, guys. Take care.
All right, great stuff from Pete Prisco. We certainly appreciate that. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we'll give you our golden moment. We'll do that next on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Feel the roar and chase the wind to victory lane.
To the checkered flag. Who gets here first?
Sunday at Echo Park Speedway.
What an incredible finish.
NASCAR is revved up by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 and 1010XL.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harold and Harold. After an accident, everything can feel chaotic and stressful. You're dealing with insurance calls, medical appointments, car repairs, and for most people, it's stressful and unfamiliar territory. That's where Harold and Harold comes in. Their team knows how overwhelming this time can be, and they guide you through every step of the process so you're never left wondering what comes next. If you've been injured and need someone in your corner, call Harold and Harold at 251-1111.
Do you have numbness and tingling in your fingers? Or wake up at night and have to shake your hand? Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari, and at Bari Orthopedics, we have a myriad of treatments that can possibly help you. If you have numbness and tingling, you may have carpal tunnel. We have cortisone injections, PRP injections, and shockwave therapy that may help treat the numbness and tingling that you have. We also treat it surgically with endoscopic carpal tunnel release, a 2-centimeter incision that will release the nerve and have you back at work and doing what you want to do in life in no time. If you have numbness and tingling in your hand, give us a call at Bari Orthopedics or log on at bariorthopedics.com.
Hey, I'll be home in about 10 minutes. Actually, make it 8.
Hey, Mom. Yep, I'm walking home now. Mom, I'm trying to cross, but I don't think this driver sees me. No, they're driving too fast. Mom!
Speeding catches up with you. Early, on time, a little late, just get there safely. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation's Target Zero initiative.
Imagine this. You and your buddies outside enjoying the warm weather. The grill is fired up, steaks are sizzling, drinks in hand, and you're all hanging out around your brand new outdoor kitchen. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can make it happen. From custom outdoor kitchens to fireplaces, fire pits, and more. They bring your backyard dreams to life. You dream it, they build it. Visit CSSFireplaces.com and make your backyard the place everyone wants to be this season.
Have you tried a Form energy drink yet? You need to, and it's available at Gate. 4 great tastes, screaming free to Blue Blitz, Orange Fury, and Grape Smash. Form energy, natural flavors, natural caffeine, and electrolytes for hydration are a perfect blend for energy and mental focus. Find it at Gate.
At the Y, there's no place like this place. More than just a gym, the YMCA is a community where support, connection, and your well-being come first. And now, getting started is easier than ever with Your Rate, an income-based, affordable membership designed to fit your lifestyle and your budget so you can focus on what really matters, feeling better, moving more, and connecting with others. Join today and discover a place where you truly belong. Learn more about Your Rate at fcymca.org.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Oak Cliff Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey for DraftKings, which is now live in all 50 states. Of course, that means you, Florida, win or go home. That's it. That's the World Cup knockout round. And DraftKings has you covered for every single match. The DraftKings app is now live in Florida, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or maybe the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Florida, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code 1010XL, spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code 1010XL in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The golden moment today was Pete Prisco. Really interesting talking to Pete in our last segment, Hacker, because he talked about, he's writing this big story upcoming about the evolution of the passing game in the NFL. And, you know, he's talked about it all offseason that, you know, it's not just a Jaguar issue. It's an NFL issue. Like last season, you just did not see those explosive downfield passes really even being attempted much because the defensive brain trust in the league basically said, we're not going to give it to you. We're going to play this shell coverage and take it away. So it will be really interesting to see the offensive shift and what these offensive minds diagram and come up with to open up that space down the field, because whoever is able to unleash that is going to have a huge advantage, and hopefully it is Liam Cohen and the Jaguars.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see the downfield passing attack. I agree that I think Jacksonville is going to try to do that more. But the entire offseason, we've heard about 12 personnel and 13 personnel and how more NFL teams want to get more bigger guys on the field. I mean, that's simply a matter to me of you have more 6'5", 6'6", 250-pound guys out there. That's going to be a problem for safeties and corners and whatnot. And that's why you hear about offenses wanting to go not only downfield, but if they want to keep it more intact, to go to that 13 personnel.
And maybe in the heavier personnel, that's where you take more deep shots. I mean, you would naturally you would think, well, this is going to be more geared around the run or, you know, or maybe something short. But maybe that's an opportunity where you play a little bit more in the phone booth and then hope that you have more space to run the deep stuff with your guys on the perimeter. So
I mean, I was talking to a D coordinator. Now, granted, it's high school, but I was talking to a defensive coordinator, a buddy of mine at one of the high schools here in town. He hates 13 personnel, hates it at the high school ranks, because in their world, you can't match up when you have 3 tight ends out there or 2 tight ends, an H-back, or however you want to do it. The offense is just simply too big and too physical, and that's a problem for defenses, which you would think if it's a problem in high school, maybe it does translate to a problem for NFL defenses as well.
Yeah, it's a good thought. JJ, I saw the Braves got it done today, 10-5 over the Pirates.
And last night, after being held to basically a perfect, the Pirates kid had like a perfect game.
Wow.
Yeah, 0 runs for the Braves, 1 hit going into the 8th inning, and somehow survived and got a home run from a former Pirates player, actually. So, like, they were on the brink of being up only 1 game in the division, and now they've won 2 since, and we'll all be cheering for the Reds tonight. Any great American will be cheering for the Reds tonight.
Absolutely. So are you feeling...
But it's a 2-game... Listen, you can't have a 10-game win streak unless you have a 2-game win
So are you starting to feel better that maybe they're coming out of the slump?
Better about the bats, not about the arms, though.
Yeah.
So it's still... Like, what, we got 4 games maybe before the All-Star break, but hopefully they make some moves next week, man. They really need something.
And, JJ, you're much more of a baseball guy than I am, but I keep seeing every night the Tampa Bay Rays, man. They just keep winning games. They got a 5-game lead on the Yankees. They got the best record in the American League. What is going on in Tampa?
They love to put the ball in play. It's simple as that. That is their strategy. They have guys that don't strike out a lot, which is like the antithesis of the rest of baseball. Everybody else. And then Junior Caminero is a freak, man. Like, he's going to be one of the best baseball players in the league for many, many years to come. He's the star player for the Rays right now. So if you don't know him, get to know him. He's awesome.
Great stuff. When we come back, let's hand it off to Rick Ballou. Rick tweeted something very interesting about the Stanley Cup today that I'm going to ask him about. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The World Cup is in the quarterfinal phase. On Friday, Spain and Belgium will meet at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Spain minus 350, while Belgium plus 265 to advance to the semifinals. Norway and England, they'll play at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami on Saturday afternoon. England minus 240, Norway plus 190. Argentina, the World Cup defending champions, will meet Switzerland, that at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City Saturday night. Argentina minus 325, the Swiss plus 250. Lionel Messi of Argentina is the betting favorite to win the Golden Boot Award. To the player that scored the most goals, he is at plus 120. Kylian Mbappe of France plus 135.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Nobody calls a service company hoping to hear they need thousands of dollars in repairs they weren't expecting. At Duck Duck Rooter, Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, we keep it simple. Find the problem, explain the solution, provide a fair upfront price. No pressure, no scare tactics, no turning a simple service call into a sales presentation. Just honest recommendations and quality work from a local team that's earned the trust of homeowners across Northeast Florida. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
America's turning 250, and Superior Fence and Rail is celebrating in true red, white, and blue style. For a limited time, save $250 on your new fence. Give your home the freedom, security, and curb appeal it deserves. Celebrate America with a fence built to last. Offer valid on new contracts for 100 linear feet or more. Cannot be combined with other offers.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. A new Panini Kids Crate is out this month with Panini Soccer. It includes one Prism FIFA World Cup Hobby Blaster and a Donruss Road to the World Cup Hobby Blaster. Panini Kids Crates at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
You can actually win a side-by-side at Best Bet St. Augustine.
You know it. Only at Best Bet. The more you play, the more chances you have to win.
Poker, great food and drinks, and a chance to drive home in that side-by-side.
That's what all the buzz is about.
Play your favorite poker and table games at Best Bet St. Augustine for your chance to win an incredible side-by-side. Earn entries now through August 7th. Grand prize giveaway happens August 8th.
Now this just got serious.
Get in the action. Feel the excitement at Best Bet St. Augustine. Details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home at VyStar Ballpark this week and weekend. Join them tonight for Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. They'll light up the night sky with a post-game fireworks show on Friday, plus a Christmas in July weekend with a Nutcracker giveaway on Saturday and a Santa hat giveaway on Sunday at 105 as part of Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day. Get your tickets now at jackshrimp.com.
Oh, it's a promise made perfect, gang, and it comes from Chad and Sandy. Your home sold guaranteed, or we'll buy it. They have the largest pool of buyers in the area. Their home selling program is designed to maximize your sales price. No long-term contracts, no costly repairs. You're in complete control. You need to sell now. Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, stress-free. And they deliver on this promise. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. They're the local real estate experts I trust and recommend. No required repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts you can cancel at any time. Marine on Pace Island and Fleming Island. I needed to downsize to a single-story home, but my house in Pace Island had been sitting on the market for 158 days. Heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, gave them a call. Their strategy generated multiple showings. Day 2, my home sold. Full asking price, $449. It can for you, too. Go to chadandsandy.com.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom, who got rear-ended last year. Tom McMahon is here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial pound law or check out forthepeople.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Stanley Pools. Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. Hacker kind of enough to sit in for the 4th day, which we really appreciate. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah,
Always
man.
enjoy it.
Always enjoy being with you, no question.
And JJ, we've got France up 2-0 here. So another very impressive performance
They're good,
for the
man.
French.
And they missed a penalty.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
I don't think Morocco's had but like maybe one shot on goal the entire game. So just a dominant performance by, for me, the best team in the tournament so far. Spain, though, what are they going to have tomorrow? They're the ones who whoever wins this game, which is going to be France, plays Spain in the semis, and that is, to me, the two best teams in the
I was going
tournament.
to ask you, will the prevailing notion be that
that's
that's really the final?
If England's in it, then no, or
Okay.
Argentina, because they are still to me, I think whoever wins that wins the final. But no, I wouldn't say that. Just like Argentina, man, they got magic, Messi magic, man. So I would never count them out, even if they're down 3-0. I think they're going to come back.
All right, great stuff. And again, JJ's got his soccer podcast. Check that out on all the 1010XL social channels. Let's now do this.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick Ballou joining
Yes.
us now. So, Rick, are they now taking the Stanley Cup and putting children's names on it?
Yeah, they are.
What happened there? I saw your tweet, but can you explain this to us?
Just put the family, and I almost never do this. I don't want to blow it out right now because I'm going to start with it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And I want to get into some great depth on it. And, we penalize the living snot out of the poor who break rules. They go to jail. The freaking rich can do whatever the hell they want to do whenever they want to do it with no penalty. And here's a great example of it. I'm going to save the rest of my commentary on that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
So this was the Hurricanes owner putting his children's name, etching it on.
5 kids and his wife. Not one of them has a role with the team.
And this is unprecedented.
It has happened before with the Panthers. They did something similar to it, but this is much more flamboyant, if you will, because he puts them all up there in front of the players, Rod Brindamore, and the coaches. I mean, he makes, if you're just glancing through it, if it's a menu, it's the first thing you see. It's the steak and then everything else. So it's awful judgment by the owner.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to your comments on that. What else is coming up?
Just basically going to be that. No, I'm just kidding. I got a lot to get into tonight. It's also on the heels of Brendan Sorsby. It's really, really a bad look for Major League Baseball to get caught now with this Bryce Harper video of a guy who is a gambling addict, lost $1.5 million to $2 million. And the folks at FanDuel continue to entice him to bet. They sent him tickets to the Super Bowl. They sent him $500 bottles of champagne. They say, bet, bet, bet. This guy got to the point where he left a suicide note. And Major League Baseball, Scott Boras, the Phillies, Bryce Harper. No one will even comment on it. Again, another example of probably the rich on both sides here saying, hey, you know what? You can ask all the questions you want. We're not even going to comment. So, got that coming up.
All right, sounds like a great show. We'll be listening. Hack, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, Ryan Roberts, A2ZSports.com, a little Florida State talk. Also, Gilbert Manzano of Sports Illustrated talking NFL.
All right, man. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for sitting in Monday through Thursday. Really appreciate it.
Hey, as always, enjoy, buddy.
All right, that's going to do it for us. For JJ, for the vacationing Frangie, for Hacker, I am Hayes Carline. Into the night with Rick Ballou up next on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Now he's going to run. It's a draw. He's across the 5 and into